Hello family, we love having you here as always. Before we get started with this intriguing story, we would love for you to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you would get notified immediately we drop new stories. As we are dedicated to you, our family, we have pledged to keep bringing you new stories daily. Now enjoy. The evening sun cast a soft glow over the narrow streets as Amarachi clutched a small nylon bag in her hand. It contained the last meal she could afford for the day, 2 wraps of fufu and a small bowl of watery soup. Her stomach growled, but she ignored it. Her younger brother, Ifini, was at home, waiting for something to eat. She walked past a few roadside stalls, inhaling the scent of roasted corn and fried akara. It was tempting, but she kept going. Just as she turned the corner leading to her one-room apartment, she noticed a man sitting on the pavement. He looked weak, his clothes dusty, his face tired. Amarachi paused. Something about him struck her. His hands trembled as he tried to sit upright. People walked past him without a second glance. He was just another struggling man in the harsh streets of the city. "Excuse me, sir," she said hesitantly. "Are you okay?" The man lifted his head. His eyes met hers, deep, tired eyes that held a story she couldn't understand. "I haven't eaten all day," he said in a low voice. "Please, do you have anything to spare?" Amarachi swallowed. She looked at the bag in her hand, then at the man. Ifini was waiting at home. But this man, he looked like he wouldn't last much longer without food. Without another thought, she knelt beside him and opened the bag. "Here," she said, handing over the food. "It's not much, but please eat." The man hesitated. "Are you sure? You look like you need it yourself." Amarachi forced a smile. "Don't worry. I'll be fine." With a grateful nod, the man took the food and ate slowly, savoring each bite. Amarachi watched him, feeling both satisfaction and a slight pang of hunger. "What's your name?" she asked after a while. "Obinna," he replied, wiping his mouth. "Thank you. I don't know how to repay you." Amarachi chuckled. "No need. Just take care of yourself." Little did she know, the man she had just helped was no ordinary stranger. He was Obinna Okafor, one of the wealthiest men in the city. And this small act of kindness would change her life forever. Amarachi stood up, dusting off her skirt as she watched Obinna finish the last bite of food. His face was still worn, but there was something in his eyes now, a glimmer of warmth, a spark of gratitude. She smiled slightly, then turned to leave. "Wait," Obinna called out. She stopped, looking back at him. "What's your name?" he asked. "Amarachi," she replied. "Amarachi Okeke." Obinna nodded as if trying to commit the name to memory. "I won't forget what you did today." She waved it off. "It's nothing. Just take care of yourself." With that, she walked away, her stomach twisting in hunger. Ifini was waiting at home, and now she had nothing to give him. She sighed, quickening her pace, determined to figure something out. When she got to the tiny room she shared with her younger brother, he was sitting on their thin mattress, reading an old book. His eyes lit up when he saw her. "Did you bring food?" he asked eagerly. Amarachi hesitated, then forced a smile. "Not yet, but don't worry. I'll find something soon." Ifini's face fell slightly, but he nodded. "It's okay, sister. I can wait." Her heart ached. He was only 12, yet he had learned to suppress his hunger, to pretend everything was fine. Amarachi sat beside him and pulled him into a side hug. "Tomorrow will be better," she murmured. As night fell, Obinna remained seated where Amarachi had left him. He glanced at the empty nylon bag beside him, deep in thought. He had expected nothing from that day, yet a total stranger had given him the little she had. A small smile played on his lips. "Amarachi Okeke," he whispered to himself. "We'll meet again." And with that, he stood up and walked into the night, disappearing into the shadows. The next morning, Amarachi woke up early, determined to find something for Ifini to eat. She searched through the little kitchen area, hoping to find forgotten crumbs or anything edible. Nothing. She sighed and glanced at Ifini, still curled up on the mattress, his breathing soft and steady. She couldn't let him go hungry again today. With quiet steps, she left the house and made her way to the market. At the market, she approached Maman Kechi, a plump woman who sold vegetables. "Good morning, Ma. Please, do you have any leftover vegetables I can take? I promise I'll pay back once I get money." Maman Kechi eyed her, clicking her tongue. "Amarachi, you're a good girl, but I can't just give away food. Business is hard these days." Amarachi swallowed her disappointment and nodded. "I understand. Thank you." She turned to leave when a voice stopped her. "Take this." She turned to see a young man, Chinedu, handing her a small bag of tomatoes and pepper. "It's not much, but at least you can make something." Tears stung Amarachi's eyes. "Chinedu, I don't know how to thank you." "Don't worry about it," he said with a small smile. "Just make sure you eat too." Amarachi hurried home with the little she had gotten. Ifini sat up as soon as she walked in. "Sister, you got food?" She nodded, forcing a smile. "Yes, just a little. Let me prepare something." Meanwhile, across town, Obinna sat in his luxurious office, staring out the window. He hadn't stopped thinking about Amarachi since last night. Something about her had stayed with him. He turned to his assistant. "Find out everything you can about a girl named Amarachi Okeke." The assistant frowned. "A common name, sir. Do you have any other details?" Obinna thought for a moment. "She's poor but kind-hearted. She gave me food when she had nothing." The assistant still looked doubtful but nodded. "I'll see what I can do." As Amarachi stirred the pot of watery tomato sauce, she had no idea her life was about to change forever. Amarachi scooped the small portion of rice onto 2 plates, making sure to give Ifini the bigger share. "Eat up," she said, placing it in front of him. Ifini picked up his spoon but paused. "What about you, sister?" She smiled, pretending she wasn't hungry. "I already ate before coming home." He hesitated, then started eating. Amarachi turned away, her stomach twisting in protest. She needed to find a way to make money fast. Later that day, she walked through the streets, scanning for any work she could do. She had done all kinds of odd jobs in the past, washing clothes, cleaning shops, even running errands for traders. Today, she was willing to do anything. She approached a small restaurant and peered inside. The owner, Madame Ego, stood behind the counter, fanning herself. Amarachi stepped forward. "Good afternoon, Ma. Please, I'm looking for any work. I can clean or wash dishes." Madame Ego eyed her. "You want to work? Can you handle washing a full day's plates?" "Yes, Ma. I'll do it well." Madame Ego exhaled loudly. "Fine. If you can wash all those plates before evening, I'll pay you." She pointed at a stack of dirty plates piled in the sink. Amarachi nodded and got to work immediately. Her hands moved quickly, scrubbing, rinsing, stacking. The soap stung her fingers, but she ignored the pain. Hours passed, and by the time she was done, her back ached. Madame Ego inspected the plates. "You did well." She handed Amarachi a few crumpled naira notes. "Come back tomorrow if you want more work." "Thank you, Ma," Amarachi said, clutching the money. It wasn't much, but it was something. Meanwhile, in a high-rise office, Obinna leaned back in his chair. His assistant, Henry, had just returned. "Sir, I found some information on Amarachi Okeke. She lives in one of the poorest areas of the city with her younger brother. Their parents are dead, and she takes care of him alone." Obinna's jaw tightened. He had suspected she was struggling, but hearing it confirmed made something in his chest tighten. He stood up. "I need to see her again." Henry hesitated. "Sir, should I arrange a meeting?" Obinna shook his head. "No. I'll go myself." That evening, as Amarachi walked home, exhausted but relieved to have money for food, she had no idea that the man she had helped was already looking for her. Amarachi stepped into the small room she shared with Ifini, her legs aching from the long day. The dim light barely illuminated the cracked walls, but she didn't care. She had earned money today. It wasn't much, but at least they wouldn't go to bed hungry. Ifini sat up as she walked in. "Sister, you're back. Did you get work?" She nodded, pulling out the small wrap of rice and stew she had bought. "Yes. Now, let's eat." His face brightened. "You're the best, sister." She smiled, but deep inside, worry gnawed at her. How long could she keep this up? Meanwhile, Obinna drove himself through the crowded streets, searching for the girl who had helped him. His luxury car stood out, drawing stares, but he ignored them. He needed to find Amarachi. He reached the neighborhood Henry had told him about, stepping out of the car. The air smelled of frying food and damp earth. Children ran barefoot, their laughter echoing. He scanned the area, wondering where to start. "Ogre, you day find person?" a young boy asked, eyeing him curiously. Obinna nodded. "Yes. Do you know Amarachi Okeke?" The boy grinned. "Everybody sabai Amarachi. She day stay that side." Obinna followed the direction the boy pointed, his heart pounding. As he approached the small house, he saw a flicker of light inside. Taking a deep breath, he knocked on the wooden door. Inside, Amarachi froze. Visitors were rare. Who could it be at this hour? She exchanged a look with Ifini before getting up to open the door. Her breath caught when she saw Obinna standing there. His clothes were different this time, crisp and expensive, but his face was the same. The man she had shared her food with. "You," she whispered, shocked. Obinna smiled. "I told you we'd meet again." Amarachi gripped the door, her mind racing. What was he doing here? How had he found her? "Can I come in?" Obinna asked gently. She hesitated. Her home was nothing compared to the world he clearly belonged to. The peeling walls, the rickety chairs, everything suddenly felt too small, too poor. "Sister, who is it?" Ifini's voice broke the silence. Obinna smiled. "Your brother. Can I meet him?" Something about his calmness made Amarachi nod. She stepped aside, letting him in. Ifini sat on the only proper chair in the room, his wide eyes studying Obinna. "Good evening, sir," Ifini said politely. Obinna crouched to his level. "You don't have to call me sir. I'm Obinna. And you must be Ifini." The boy beamed. "Yes. My sister told me about you. You're the man she gave her food to." Obinna turned to Amarachi, his eyes filled with something she couldn't place. "You gave me your last meal. Why?" She swallowed hard. "You looked like you needed it more." Obinna's chest tightened. He had met many people in his life, but none as selfless as her. "I wanted to see you again," he said. "To thank you properly." Amarachi frowned. "You don't owe me anything." "Maybe not," he admitted, "but I'd like to help you." Her pride flared up. "I don't need charity. I work. I take care of my brother. We survive." Obinna admired her strength, but he also saw the exhaustion in her eyes. "I'm not offering charity. I'm offering an opportunity. Would you be willing to hear me out?" She crossed her arms, unsure. "What kind of opportunity?" Obinna smiled. "One that could change your life forever." Amarachi studied Obinna, her heart pounding. An opportunity. What did that even mean? People like him didn't just show up offering chances to people like her. "I don't understand," she said cautiously. Obinna leaned forward. "I own a company. A big one. And I need someone with your determination, your kindness. You don't have to struggle like this. I can help." She let out a bitter laugh. "A company? What would someone like me do in a place like that? I sell oranges on the street. I don't have big certificates or fine clothes." Obinna shook his head. "You have something more important. You have heart. You saw a stranger in need and gave him everything you had. That's the kind of person I want around me." Ifini watched the conversation quietly, his young mind trying to understand the weight of Obinna's words. Sister, maybe you should listen to him. She looked at her brother, torn. She had fought so hard to keep them afloat. Depending on someone else felt risky. What if this was all a joke? What if he changed his mind tomorrow? What exactly are you offering? She finally asked. Obinna smiled. A job. A proper one. You won't have to sell on the streets anymore. And Ifini can go to school without worrying about the next meal. Her breath caught. School. Ifini deserved that. But could she trust this man? You don't even know me, she said. Why are you doing this? Obinna held her gaze. Because I know what it's like to struggle. I know what it's like to have nothing. And I know what it feels like when someone gives you a chance. I want to be that person for you. Silence filled the room. Amarachi felt the weight of her decision pressing down on her. Could she take this risk? Could she trust him? She took a deep breath. What kind of job? Obinna smiled at Amarachi's question. It's an administrative role in my company. You'll assist with basic office tasks, help manage some documents, and... She shook her head, cutting him off. I told you, I have no experience with office work. How can I do this? Obinna leaned forward. You think I was born knowing business? No. I learned. And I can teach you. All you need is willingness. I've seen how smart you are. You pick up things fast. Trust me, you'll do well. Amarachi looked at Ifini, his hopeful eyes watching her. This could mean a better life for both of them. No more running from market officials. No more sleepless nights worrying about food. But could she trust Obinna? What's the catch? She asked, folding her arms. Obinna chuckled. No catch. Just a chance to change your life. You're hardworking, Amarachi. You deserve more than struggling every day. She exhaled slowly. I don't have fancy clothes for an office. I don't even know how to type. We can fix that, Obinna assured her. I'll cover your training. I'll help you get started. But the hard work, that will be yours. Her heart pounded. This was too much, too sudden. But a voice inside whispered, what if this was the break she had been praying for? Ifini touched her hand. Sister, please say yes. She looked between the two of them. One hopeful. One patient. Her voice trembled as she finally spoke. All right. I'll do it. Obinna's face broke into a smile at Amarachi's response. You won't regret this, he said. We'll start tomorrow. Amarachi's hands felt clammy. Was this really happening? A job in an office? It felt like a dream. She glanced at Ifini, who beamed with excitement. Where do I meet you? She asked hesitantly. I'll send a driver to pick you up, Obinna replied. Be ready by 8 a.m. She nodded, feeling a mix of fear and hope swirl inside her. Okay. Obinna stood up. It's late. You both should get some rest. I'll see you in the morning. As soon as he left, Ifini grabbed Amarachi's hands. Sister, this is a miracle. You're going to work in an office. No more struggling. She forced a smile, still uncertain. Let's see how it goes. The night felt unusually long. Amarachi barely slept. Her mind kept racing with questions. Was this a mistake? Could she really trust Obinna? Morning came too soon. She quickly bathed and wore her best dress, a faded blue gown that was the only decent outfit she had. She tried to fix her hair as best as she could. Ifini watched her with admiration. A black car pulled up in front of their small house. Her heart pounded. This was it. A man in a suit stepped out and opened the door for her. Good morning, madam. I am here to take you to the office. Madam? She almost laughed. No one had ever called her that before. Taking a deep breath, she stepped into the car. Her new life was about to begin. Amarachi hesitated at the doorway, her mind racing. Why was Obinna here? How did he find her? May I come in? He asked gently. She glanced back at Ifini, who watched with wide eyes. Taking a deep breath, she stepped aside. Come in. Obinna entered the small room, his presence almost too large for the space. He took in the worn-out walls, the thin mattress on the floor, and the few belongings they had. His chest tightened, but he said nothing. Why are you here? Amarachi asked, crossing her arms. Obinna met her gaze. I wanted to see you again. To thank you properly for what you did. And, to offer you something. Her brows furrowed. Offer me what? He took a step closer. A job. A real one. She blinked, uncertain. A job. Doing what? You'll work in my office. An assistant role. Nothing complicated, and you'll be paid well. Amarachi's breath hitched. This didn't feel real. I don't know anything about office work. Obinna smiled. You'll learn. You're smart, Amarachi. And hardworking. That's all that matters. She looked at Ifini, who nodded eagerly. Sister, this is a good opportunity. Please say yes. Her heart pounded. A job. A steady income. A chance at something better. But why would a man like Obinna help someone like her? Why me? She asked, suspicion creeping into her voice. Obinna's smile faded slightly. Because I believe in helping people who deserve it. And I see something in you. She swallowed hard. Was this fate? Or was she walking into something she didn't understand? After a long pause, she exhaled. All right. I'll do it. Obinna grinned. Good. Be ready by 8 tomorrow morning. My driver will pick you up. As he turned to leave, Ifini whispered, Sister, our lives are about to change. Amarachi could only hope he was right. Amarachi barely slept that night. Doubt and excitement warred in her mind. She had agreed to work for Obinna, but was she making the right choice? What if this was all too good to be true? By the time morning arrived, she was already awake, staring at the ceiling. Ifini stirred beside her, rubbing his eyes. Sister, today is the day. Are you ready? She forced a smile. I think so. Ifini jumped up. Let me help you find something nice to wear. She chuckled. Her wardrobe was limited, but she settled for her best blouse and skirt, smoothing them out as best she could. Just as she finished getting ready, a sleek black car pulled up outside. Neighbors peeked through their windows, whispering among themselves. Amarachi took a deep breath and stepped outside. A driver in a suit stepped out and opened the door for her. Miss Amarachi, Mr. Obinna is expecting you. She nodded hesitantly and got in, her heart pounding as the car glided through the streets. She had never been in a vehicle this luxurious before. Everything smelled clean, the seats were soft, and the city looked different from this angle. When they arrived at a towering glass building, her stomach twisted in nervousness. This was not a small business. It was massive. The driver led her inside, where a woman in a sharp dress greeted her. You must be Amarachi. Follow me. She guided Amarachi through a polished hallway and into a large office, where Obinna stood by the window, his back turned to her. He turned with a smile. You came. Amarachi swallowed hard. Yes. Obinna gestured to a chair. Sit. We have a lot to discuss. As she settled in, she realized this was the beginning of something far bigger than she had imagined. But was she truly ready for it? Amarachi sat stiffly in the plush chair, her hands clasped in her lap. Obinna leaned forward, watching her with an expression she couldn't quite read. First, I want to thank you again for what you did that day. You had nothing, yet you still shared your food with me, he said. She shifted uncomfortably. I only did what I thought was right. He smiled. That's exactly why I want you here. You have the kind of heart that money can't buy. Amarachi blinked, unsure how to respond. What will my job be? Obinna stood and walked to the window. I want to start you in a position where you can learn everything about how my business runs. You'll be working closely with me. It's an opportunity to grow. Her mind raced. This wasn't just a job, this was a chance to change her life completely. I don't know anything about business. Then you'll learn, he said firmly. And I'll make sure you have all the training you need. Amarachi hesitated. What if I make mistakes? Obinna chuckled. Mistakes are part of the process. What matters is that you keep going. Are you willing to try? She took a deep breath and nodded. Yes. I am. Obinna's eyes held approval. Good. You start tomorrow. I'll have someone take you shopping for work clothes today. Her eyes widened. Shopping? Consider it part of your welcome. I want you to be comfortable and confident. She had never imagined herself in this kind of world. But as she looked at Obinna, she realized that maybe, just maybe, her life was about to change in ways she never expected. Amarachi stared at the large boutique in disbelief. Expensive clothes lined the racks, and mannequins dressed in elegant outfits stood by the windows. She had never stepped foot in a place like this before. The attendant, a slim woman with a sharp gaze, glanced at Amarachi's simple dress before turning to Obinna. Welcome, sir. How may we assist you? She needs a full wardrobe, Obinna said, motioning toward Amarachi. The woman hesitated, then forced a smile. Of course. Right this way. Amarachi hesitated. I don't need much. Just 1 or 2 outfits. Obinna shook his head. You're starting a new life. You need to dress the part. Get whatever you need. Her fingers trembled as she ran them over the soft fabrics. Everything looked expensive, too expensive. She picked a simple blouse and a skirt, but Obinna sighed. You're not in the village anymore. Pick more. Seeing her uncertainty, he turned to the attendant. Bring a selection for her. Professional but comfortable. Within minutes, Amarachi was in the dressing room, staring at herself in the mirror. The clothes fit perfectly, making her look like someone else, someone important. When she stepped out, Obinna smiled in approval. That's better. Amarachi bit her lip. Are you sure about this? I don't want to owe you anything. Obinna chuckled. Consider it an investment. When you become successful, you can return the favor. She still felt uneasy, but she nodded. Thank you. As they left the boutique, Amarachi couldn't shake the feeling that her life was changing faster than she could process. But was she truly ready for it? As Amarachi and Obinna stepped out of the boutique, she held the shopping bags tightly, still feeling overwhelmed by everything. The weight of the new clothes wasn't just physical, it was emotional too. Obinna noticed her hesitation. Are you okay? She nodded quickly. Yes, I'm not used to this. I understand, he said as he led her to the car. Change takes time. They drove in silence for a while until Obinna spoke again. Have you ever thought about what you truly want in life? Amarachi hesitated. I just want a good life for me and my brother. A stable job, a safe home, nothing too much. Obinna smiled. You deserve more than just survival, Amarachi. His words made her chest tighten. Could she really dream bigger? Could she allow herself to want more? They arrived at a small but elegant restaurant. Amarachi hesitated at the entrance, feeling out of place. I don't think I should. You should, Obinna interrupted gently. Come on. Inside, the air smelled of rich spices and fresh bread. A waiter led them to a quiet corner, and Amarachi shifted uncomfortably in her seat, watching as other diners laughed and enjoyed themselves. Relax, Obinna said. Just enjoy the moment. She exhaled slowly and glanced at him. Why are you doing all this for me? Obinna met her gaze. Because I believe in you. And because sometimes, life surprises us in ways we don't expect. His words lingered in her mind long after the meal began, leaving her wondering what exactly life had in store for her next. Amarachi stared at Obinna across the table, his words still echoing in her mind. She had spent so many years struggling that she never stopped to imagine what life could be if things were different. If someone truly believed in her. The waiter returned with their meals, and Amarachi hesitated before taking a bite. The flavors exploded in her mouth, rich, warm, and comforting. She had never tasted anything like it. "You like it?" Obinna asked with a small smile. She nodded. "It's amazing." They ate in silence for a while until Obinna spoke again. "I know things have been hard for you, but what if I told you that life could change? That you don't always have to struggle?" She swallowed, her grip tightening around her fork. "I don't know. I don't want to depend on anyone. I've fought too hard to stand on my own." Obinna leaned forward. "Wanting a better life doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're human. And you don't have to go through everything alone." Amarachi looked away, her emotions swirling. She wanted to believe him, but the fear of disappointment held her back. She had seen too many promises broken, too many dreams crushed. "Ifini is the only family I have left," she said quietly. "Everything I do is for him. And you deserve someone who will stand by you too," Obinna said. "I don't just want to help, I want to see you succeed." Her heart pounded. Why did he care so much? What did he see in her that made him so sure? As they finished their meal, Obinna glanced at his watch. "I should drop you home soon. But before we go, there's one more thing I want to show you." Amarachi frowned. "What is it?" He grinned. "You'll see." Hello family, kindly tell us where you are watching from and the time your watch says right now in the comment section. We would love to hear from you, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification. New series are coming very soon. Subscribe. Feel free to support us by joining Zara Premium. Also feel free to give us your feedback in the comment section. This helps us improve. You can support us directly by gifting us super thanks. You can find the thanks option below the video, next to the thumbs up, dislike, and share buttons. Super thanks is a feature here on YouTube that allows you to show extra gratitude to us by purchasing a special animation and a distinct, colorful, and customizable comment in the comments section.